And I think we're just waiting for a few more folks before we get started, so can have a little meditation.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the HWIN meeting for August 10th. We're going to do welcome and introductions. So if you'll please just give your name, agency, and today, if many of you do not know, it is National S'mores Day. Very important to me personally. And so if you could add one ingredient to your s'more, only one, what would that be? You can be as creative as possible. Sky's the limit. We have a couple more people coming in. I always go first, so I don't want to go first. So do we have a volunteer? Maureen's gonna go first. Great.
Okay, I'll go. Maureen Nelson, Workforce Development Board. I would add butterscotch to my s'more. And then let me call on Morgan.
Hi, good morning. My name is Morgan Parkins. I am an employment and education specialist with Hope Solutions Housing Works Department. I would add strawberries. I think it would be really messy, but delicious. And I'm going to pass to Emily.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emily, and I work with Hope Solutions as well. I'm currently working with the West Contra Costa School District for Families in Transition program, so working with homeless and unaccompanied youth. And I would add milk, just so I could dunk the s'mores into it. I will go ahead and pass it to Jamie Luna.
Hi, I'm Jamie Luna. I'm with the Contra Costa County Department of Child Support Services, and I have to admit I do this already. I use Hershey bar with almonds in it instead of the standard. So that's an easy because it just comes that way. And I will pass it on to Gerald.
I'm Gerald Richards. I'm with the Advisory Council on Aging, and I head the housing work group, and I have no idea what you folks are talking about adding to or taking from.
Hi, Gerald. It's National S'mores Day, so you're welcome for that information. But if you could add one ingredient to your s'more, what would that be?
Well, I don't know what a s'more is.
Gerald, we might have to stop the meeting. It's graham crackers, and then you roast a marshmallow, and then you put chocolate, Hershey's chocolate bar on it, followed by another graham cracker, and it's pretty much the best thing you've had in your life.
It's called a s'more because you want some more.
I put peanut butter on my graham crackers.
Right.
Well, I would add some marshmallow, roasted marshmallow and chocolate to that, and you got a s'more.
Okay.
Thanks, Gerald. And I can go since I'm already off mute. So I am facilitating the meeting, but I do not deserve any of the credit for the agenda or anything on it, just facilitating. But I'm Moni Bonsack, and I am the coordinator for the Homeless Outreach Program for Education for Mount Diablo Unified School District. as well as like 3 other full-time jobs that I found out about yesterday, but we won't go there. I'm not sure how I would do this, but I want coffee in there, like coffee taste in there somehow. So I don't know if I would like a coffee chocolate or something, a coffee liqueur, something of that sort. And why don't we go to,
I'll go.
oh, thank you.
I will go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Capri Nesbitt. I am the employment representative at Shelter Inc. I actually have my coworker, Jesse Drake, online as well, but in the comments, his name says Capri. So, so welcome, Jesse. So for my s'mores, I gotta add some toffee. I've never had it like that, but when you said coffee, I was like, scratch the extra chocolate. The toffee sounds amazing. So yes, chocolate and toffee.
I'll go. Nidal DeCesar, I'm the transition specialist for Liberty Adult Education, and I would definitely add caramel to my s'mores.
And I'm Jamie Jeanette. I am the community engagement specialist with Health, Housing, and Homeless Services. And I was thinking caramel, but I was thinking salted caramel.
Yeah, I agree.
Joe, how about you?
Hi, everyone. Joe Bruno here, lived experience advisor with Delta Peers, currently the lived experience advisor seat and vice chair on the Council for Homelessness. I would, originally I thought caramel. I was like, caramel syrup would be really good, but then I was really thinking about it. I would actually like to replace the graham cracker with an Oreo and see how that went. Right? I mean, like, it's just kind of where I went this morning. I think I have a sweet tooth, but Oreos sound good.
Joe, you want to, oh, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was unmuted. Hi, my name's Elizabeth. I am from the Hume Center. I work in housing support services. And I think I would add some ice cream on the side.
I'll go. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Joyner. I'm a resident services coordinator for RCD Housing. And I think I put some whipped cream on it. I'd be messy, but whipped cream. All right, and I'll pass it to whoever Capri said was the person with her name, you, Jesse or something?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, you're still muted, Jesse.
There we go. I'm Jesse Drake, employment specialist with Shelter Inc. here in Solano County. You know, it just so happens last time I went camping, we were going to make s'mores and we forgot the graham crackers. So we made s'mores with waffles instead of graham crackers. And I would just suggest that if you haven't tried that, you probably should.
Do we have anyone? I don't want to try the name because I'm worried, but Gloribel? Okay. How'd I do?
That was good.
Okay. I mean, my name's horrible, so call me whatever you want.
My name is Gloribel Pastrana. But you can call me Glory. That's typically easier. And I'm sorry, I missed the question. I just logged in.
Thank you. I was about to repeat it anyway, because I know we had a couple people join. So it is National S'mores Day.
Ooh.
If you could add one ingredient to your s'more, what would it be?
Pralines.
Ooh.
I don't know, that just came to me, but that just sounds good. The ooey gooey with the crunchy and the salty. Yeah, that sounds good. Pralines.
Thank you. I'm glad you shared. I'm glad everybody shared. I have like a list now. And we have a smaller group
Did we
today.
hear from Hikmat?
Hickman, I think, is the only one, and I don't know when they joined, but so it's S'mores Day. We need to know your ingredient for s'more, if you hear me. I stepped away. All right, we can come back.
Gabrielle, Gabrielle, I did not hear what agency you were from.
My apologies. I got excited about this.
Oh, yeah, I did too. I didn't even ask her what I didn't say.
No worries. So I'm the business service manager for Rubicon Programs.
Thank you. Okay, I think we've gotten everyone. So next we are moving right along. We are going to go to Maureen, who's going to give us an HWIN update, and kind of take some information from the group in terms of planning and future plans. It's been a week. I'm sorry, school starts tomorrow, and I'm not doing well.
You talk like I talk. Yes, so before the HWIN was the WIN, and the HWIN was kind of modeled on the WIN. The WIN is the Workforce Integration Network that has existed for many years. Well, when I first started with the county 10 years ago, one of my first projects was to launch them. So they have been going in parallel with this group, and I think this group started last November. So it's just very focused on workforce and all the ancillary services around that. So certainly there's some crossover. Shelter Inc. I think has always been present at the WIN meetings. They're done a little differently. Of course, COVID threw everything up in the air. The WINs used to, when they were meeting in person, they were West, Central, and East, so very localized. And then with COVID, they all went online, but still 3 different meetings. So they rotated around. I believe there's one every month, so that by the time a quarter passes, each area has had their meeting. This meeting has always been one meeting with all the areas of the county, but then we have breakout groups where we can localize and just focus on, you know, one geography or the other. So as the Workforce Accelerator grant that started this started coming to a close, I was talking to my director and I said, look, these 2 meetings are going in parallel. There's some crossover. People are going to both of them, and sometimes they even fall on the same day. You know, at most they're a week apart, and it seems like a lot. And sometimes, you know, poor Betty Kaiser-Cantrell would present it one and then present it the other, and so on. Shouldn't we be thinking about merging them? And she said, yes, absolutely. They duplicate each other. We should merge them. And so then some time went by and we spoke to leadership, and we had leadership of each group attend the other's meetings. And then things shifted and the question was raised, but the HWIN seems like a kind of not a special interest group, but really focused on one population. You know, what if this were like a veterans group? What if you're a case manager in workforce development and you never come across any homeless clients? You know, why just have the merge and have it like too heavy on the homeless side? So then my director, Tamia, said, you know what, they should just both continue in parallel. And I was really shocked when she said that. But that's what she wants. So that's what we're going to do. The WIN is not going to fold into this one. And I don't think the HWIN wants to go away and fold into that one. So the question really is, how do we want them to go in parallel? Do we want them to alternate, like, you know, a WIN meeting and then the next month an HWIN meeting? Like, should the HWIN meetings go down to being only quarterly instead of every other month? And another configuration would be that they're on the same day and they're adjacent in time. So maybe the you know, the first hour and a half is the WIN meeting. Oh, that would be a 3-hour meeting. The first hour is the WIN meeting and the second hour is the HWIN meeting. So some people could leave and some could continue. So, and there may be other configurations, but those were kind of the two obvious ones that came up. And to me, it actually recommends that they both be scheduled on the same day and they just roll one into another like that. So I wanted to get an idea from this group, you know, what they think would work best for everyone, for both groups. Do they see any other solutions or configurations? I just wanted to open up discussion. You know, how do people feel about that? Because I will tell you, I myself have been looking forward to them merging, and then like that's not happening. So, you know, I had to pivot in my mind.
This is Capri. So basically the workforce integration network would separate from, or is running parallel with, the homeless workforce integration network, correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, the WIN
Okay.
is separate from the HWIN.
Okay, so, and for that, it would be amazing for them to merge, because, so that we don't miss any information. Some of us work with both homeless and non-homeless individuals. So to have to attend both of the meetings, such as myself, I would have to pick one or the other. But for the most part, both could be beneficial to me. So if they were to merge, it would really put us all on the same page versus, because of course what's covered in one meeting may not be covered in the other meeting, you know, but if it's overall one, we're not missing any information. And I think to be on one accord would be the best, but that's just my opinion in regards to that, because I do work with, again, both chronically homeless veterans and non-veterans and non-homeless. So yeah, to attend both meetings. I'm like you, I would, well, the merge would be lovely.
Yeah, I think we're past that. She said there's not going to be a merge. They're both going to continue to exist.
Okay.
So really it's just deciding how we want that to happen. So I hear you about like, oh, but
yeah, because two meetings,
you know, it's too much time, or I'm not available and I feel like I'm missing out what's happening in the other meeting that I can't attend. That's why she's saying, you know, let's at least have them butt against each other, first hour, second hour, and then you can always get the notes, you know, from the other meeting.
I think that's the best way that we can. I am one of those people also who have to attend both. So giving us that option that if I want to leave, I can. If I don't want to leave, I can join the other session and then have knowledge of both what's going on. So if we don't have an option of merging them, then putting them all on the same day with that 2-hour limit, and then give us, for some of us who have to listen to both, leave one and then join the other.
So Maureen, just to clarify, are there currently 3 WINs operating by region? So is the idea like each of those would have an HWIN attached to, so that would like?
No, no, there are 3 WINs operating. So, you know, we could tell them or ask them to merge that into one, same way we are one, and have breakouts. That's not something that has been brought up before, so I haven't discussed it with leadership of the WIN.
I wanted to add, I co-chair the WIN meetings for all 3. And I love that idea to combine it, because sometimes I think it's the same information sometimes being shared across all 3 meetings. So to reduce repetitive and to just have like, you know, one meeting where all of us come together. Because also Central is not that far from East, and East is not that far from West. So a lot of our programs merge anyways and service a lot of the same population. I think that's a great idea. And I think I could carve out 2 hours of one day every other month to cover both the resources and the homeless services, because we also serve a lot of the same populations in both aspects, whether they're non-homeless, veteran, and so on and so forth. So I'm with it. I think that's a great idea to do it that way.
Okay, thank you, Glorabelle.
Maureen,
yeah, go ahead.
could it be done so that there was like a common section in the center? In other words, there is stuff that everyone needs to know, right? So you had maybe WIN sign in, I'm just picking hours, right? From 10 to 10:30, or if you could do it, stretch to a 2.5 hour meeting or whatever, an hour, then have a common half hour in the center. And that would be when HWIN would sign on. And then when that common moment ended, the earlier group could sign off. It just, I think when you repeat things, the message is not always the same. And so if there are things that are common and they can be shared once for everybody, then you know the message is out there. And if people have feedback, even for the people that are facilitating, you're getting the feedback in a group. You're not getting like repeat comments that you're having to filter through. And people are really kind of getting to know even people in the other group, because there's some common conversation. So I think if you block it together, it's combined, but it's like a hybrid, right? You're basically saying we're only combining this common announcement period or discussion or whatever, but you're building it into one meeting.
Question I have, Maureen, are we talking about 2 separate Zoom meetings, or is one Zoom? Because I think you have to log out of one and leave and then join another.
Oh, that's
correct?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how you can do the combine if it's a 2 separate Zooms.
Well, couldn't people just be advised to log on and then log off? In other words, this meeting starts at 9 a.m., but your portion doesn't start till 10. So sign on at 10. And then same in reverse. If you want to stay, I don't think there's anything top secret being said that if someone had interest, that they could continue on for the whole meeting. I mean, we all kind of come in and out of meetings, right, on our own. We know, and if we have a conflict, we come in when we can. It's kind of that same basic theory.
Yeah, so good question at all. Yeah, the common section would have to be a portion of one meeting or the other. I had a thought, so I really like the very detailed notes that come out of these meetings. And I think the WINs do not have those detailed notes. I'm not sure they even produce notes at all. So the thing I said about like, oh yeah, just get the notes if you don't go to the other meeting, I would like to ask the WINs to make sure they consistently produce notes and maybe give a little more detail. That's one of my concerns. Does anyone else have that concern? Okay.
Notes are a great way to go back and remember what was said. Absolutely. We gotta have notes. I mean,
Yeah. Who was there and their agencies and all that. I mean, just in this meeting, I'm listening to your introductions, and I'm often distracted in the beginning of the meeting because I'm, seeing who needs to be let in, and I'm looking at the agenda and I'm all this kind of stuff. So I'm not always focused. But I feel like for the first time today, I heard people's agencies. It's like I've been in these meetings with you for months, and it's like I just clicked. Oh, this one works with you. Glorabelle, you have your hand up again? Or, okay, you still have your hand up. Okay, I'm not seeing any other hands.
There are some new people that have come in. I'm wondering if does anyone need kind of a summary of what we were talking about if you came in somewhere in the middle of the discussion on the WIN, each WIN, combining, not combining, how to do it plan?
Yeah, I see Catherine Ross. Did she just come in? And Alexandra and Lila. Okay. Then I'll just give like a briefer version of what I said before. So the WINs, the Workforce Integration Network, is existing in parallel with the HWINs, the Homeless Workforce Integration Network. And they seem to be competing groups. People don't know which one to go to. And so earlier we were considering merging them, but my director has said we're not going to merge them, that they need to exist in parallel. So the question is, how does that happen? What's the configuration? Do they alternate? My director would really prefer to see them just the blocks of time, against each other. So like the first hour is WIN and the second hour is HWIN. They would be 2 different meetings. And then somehow there's a common section where people who are interested in both would be sure to catch that, and then maybe they could drop off. I'm kind of curious, like, can you give at least one example of something that would be in the common section, maybe tying it to our list of topics? Like, oh, maybe like veterans homeless programs. Maybe you have a veteran and you're a workforce development person, but they also require some housing services. So
I would think that the resources would definitely be a common scenario. The resources for whether they're homeless, whether they are veterans, whether they are non-vets or non-homeless, because I work with RCD, we build the apartments for people, and I'm one of the services coordinator area of RCD housing. So I'm here a lot to find out resources to give to the residents, because that's what I do. And we have homeless population. For example, there's one place in Marin that consists of 51 units from the homeless population out there. And we have a coordinator that works out there. So I like to get things, take them back to our services team. So resources, no matter which one we're on, I would think would be important for each of us, because we are collaborative partners for this one big, hopefully helpful scenario for people, all people. So I think this resources and services are definitely a common ground.
I agree. I also wanted to add, one of the topics is employment barriers. And quite honestly, I deal with that all day long, just with the homeless population. So I think that's one topic that I think would be helpful to talk about as a group every time we meet. And then the other is, and I'm not as confident about this one, just because there is some differences in the definition of homeless under McKinney-Vento Education Act versus what many of you are doing. But in terms of newcomers and refugees, what I'm being told by a lot of the organizations supporting refugees coming in, excuse me, is that we are not done. We are going to be highly impacted for the next year plus. And I often, housing is often an issue, and finding employment is often very much coupled with that. So.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would just agree with what Catherine and Monty both said. From the housing perspective, I work in employment services with people experiencing homelessness. So what goes on in workforce and the county workforce board is also relevant to our work, whether it's learning resources, making connections with people. One of the topics on the list is, I think, paid job training and internships. So I think that's a common shared interest on top of the others that were mentioned. So I think there is overlap. Maybe the HWIN focuses more on housing or advocacy sometimes, but definitely, employment services, employment barriers go hand in hand with housing. So the back-to-back seems the closest solution to kind of combining forces, because, if it were me, I would attend both hours.
Okay, and I think Maggie just joined us.
Oh yes, hi.
Hi, Meg.
So I've been listening to the discussion. I think everyone makes great points. we at the Office of Education want to make sure the youth are connected to the local resources. We know that you are probably serving their parents. And so there's already some alignment and some coordination, and we just want to be that bridge. We want you to know who we are, and we want to know who you are. So we make sure that we make those very important connections to the youth.
Thank you for the suggestion that resources would be a good overlap topic or a common topic. Then that got me thinking about, events, so trainings or meetings or community events. Everyone wants to hear that. And then maybe the agency share outs or the agency updates, that always comes at the beginning. Well, we do intros and then share, like announcements and share outs at the end, but maybe that could be at the beginning of the second meeting or end of the first. I don't know. That would be of interest to everyone.
I definitely think the beginning, because people lose interest after so long, and we have to keep it real. And so the important stuff really needs to get out there first, because it's all important, right? But resources and things that we need to help people is like a big thing. And I also wanted to ask, I don't know if this is my first, maybe my second meeting, but I got into it, however I got into it. I'm always down for finding new ways to help our people. So one thing I was thinking, there's several entities here that I've heard that I would love to connect with. So that collaborative connection, I would like to have that, for example, with the Shelter Inc. I have people who need help with eviction prevention and things like that. Then I heard another agency, and I believe I may have seen, where is she? I don't see her now. Oh, Gabrielle, I'm not sure if you were at the event in Antioch, but you look familiar, and I think we spoke. So, hey, but this is why I like to be on these things, because it's important and it does help. So if we could have a collaborative partner to, or like information on how to contact our partners that are on, for example, today, because I would definitely with Capri and Jesse, have a connection, a real connection, versus calling, staying on the phone for 2 hours. I've been there trying to get resources for the people. So that would be great also.
Yes, and one thing that can facilitate that is using that resource list that Jamie created, that is a Google Doc that I waited months to fill in my part, but it's finally there. And so if some of you are not aware of it, Jamie, I'm kicking, and other leadership, I'm kicking myself because I didn't make sure that link got onto this agenda. And I think, yeah, going forward, the link should be on the agenda. So there's I don't even have my chat open.
I'm looking for it, and I'm going to do it right now. I'll drop it.
Okay, drop it in the chat.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have had my chat open because you're asking me questions. So yes, so the chart has, the agency, what they do, populations they focus on, if it's in a geographical area, that, as well as contact, website, but also a person contact. So it, would probably be the person attending here with name and email address and all that. So it's, it is sort of like an ongoing roster of who attends these meetings. And so that's a really good resource to set up any of those face-to-face meetings, or, a Zoom meeting later on to collaborate a little closer.
Okay, how would I get that if you didn't put it in this time? How would I get that? I apologize.
So it is in chat now.
Okay.
Jamie just dropped it in chat. Thank you, Jamie.
You seen it, Catherine?
Yes.
I just.
Why did
logged on to do
I
it.
just clicked myself off. I clicked on it. I'm back now though.
Oh, no, you're good.
I'm still learning this virtual stuff, so thank you.
I'm glad it came up again because I have been meaning to put my stuff in there for ages now. So.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Well, and Catherine, what you said about like, oh, the share outs, the announcements have to happen at the beginning. If there's the common area, it's at the end of one meeting and the beginning of the other. So, one of them is going to have it at the end. Intros will be at the beginning of both meetings.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the share outs would be in that common area. So it's kind of like it would work for whoever has the first meeting, and then for the second meeting it's like, oh, now we're sharing out announcements at the beginning. This feels a little weird because we usually wait till the end, but hearing all that allows people to drop off. Whoever has the second meeting really has to manage time, because those announcements can get a little lengthy, and so they would have to be held to 10 minutes or whatever, so the rest of the meeting can happen. So
great. Thank you.
Yes, and speaking of managing time so the rest of the meeting can happen, yes, Jamie, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I think I have enough information. I've been taking notes, and I will go back to leadership and my director, but it sounds like we'll have kind of back-to-back meetings, and maybe the WIN meeting will be a little bit more like the structure of this one, where it's just one with some breakout groups regionally. So thank you very much for all the input.
Awesome. Thank you, Maureen, because I know you've been working on this for a really long time. It seems like, and it's helpful because it seems like people are doing things in their vacuums. This helps a lot. So next is we want feedback. It's a problem solving session about low attendance at HWIN meetings by workforce development staff. And I think, Jamie, you have a poll set up for this. So
okay, we're going to try this. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to launch this poll, and basically we're asking you just to pick your first choice. And so that way we'll kind of see how things rank. So basically, what would be your first choice for a topic for a future meeting? So we have case conferencing, advocacy, paid training, internships, youth or TAY, so transition aged youth 18 to 24, families, employment barriers, newcomers, or transitional housing. It doesn't mean we won't do any of the others, but just want to get a sense of like, what is your most pressing issue? And that will also help us with agenda planning. And if you've already voted, you can have a moment of Zen. All right, we've got 12 out of 14 that have participated. I actually haven't voted, but okay, I'm gonna end the poll. Last chance. Okay, and then let's share the results. So it looks like employment barriers, no surprise. Employment barriers came out as number 1. Families and paid internships or training have tied. Some interest in TAY and some interest in transitional housing. So that's helpful. And we'll get a copy of this that we can look at again later.
I love that. You're so good with the Zooming, Jamie.
2 years of experience. The beginning was a train wreck, I'll just tell you.
I keep thinking every time I get on Zoom, and I'm like a hot mess thinking like, oh, I should be used to this by now, but no.
I don't think my vote came through because I kept clicking on case conferencing, but it says 0 voted for that.
Oh, that's
yeah,
weird.
I
Okay.
couldn't vote either. So maybe, I don't know.
Oh, maybe because we're co-hosts.
Yeah, I think that's
okay.
Fine. Your opinion doesn't matter more.
We'll note it later.
It does. So next, I would love to have the people that had just come in. Can we really quickly, we are just on time for our presenter, but could the people that just came in just quickly tell us your name and your agency so we know who's in the room? I think there's Catherine. Alexandra. Elizabeth, no, they don't want to. That's okay too. Oh, and Magdalena, thank you.
It's hello, everyone. My name is Magdalena Montalvo. I'm with the Contra Costa County Office of Education Youth Services Program. And we have the contract to serve youth both in school and out of school in East County and West Contra Costa County.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna move us, if there's no one else, I'm gonna move us along to our presentation. Today is, we've already heard from her and she's brilliant because she came up with a great idea. Jamie Luna from DCSS, Department of Child Support Services. So I'm gonna have Jamie take it away and give us some knowledge.
Okay, great. I don't know, Jamie, were you the one that had the PowerPoint? Or did you guys want me to bring it up? Because I sent my stuff over through Maureen yesterday to put it all in the slide deck, or you want me just to share my own version?
I think we should have you share your own because we don't actually have a slide deck. So I'm going to.
Don't, okay.
I know
No,
we're
sorry,
very low tech here. Can you?
I should have been more prepared. Let me grab it really quick.
It's all good. If you have any issues sharing, let me know, but you should.
I hope I don't. We're having a lot of computer problems. We haven't had email for 4 days. And I'm coming back from vacation with probably 300 emails sitting there and we can't access anything. So it was not a pretty, it hasn't been pretty.
That's a rough
bear
one.
with me. Oh, it's a rough one. So just give me 1 sec here.
Yeah, take your time.
But while we wait, Magdalena, because you were the only one who shared your name and agency, we can ask you, it is National S'mores Day. You're welcome for that information. What ingredient would you add to your s'more if you could only add one? We'll compile a list of everyone's for you later, so you can try them all.
I guess dark chocolate. Definitely.
I like it.
Okay, I think I'm ready to go. If you can just let me know if you see what you're supposed to see.
Yes, it's working.
Okay,
you're good.
Awesome. Very, very good. Okay, so again, this is, I'm representing Contra Costa County Department of Child Support Services. And we have been an agency, I'm sure most of you, we are barriers for some. We try to help where we can, but there's a lot that we're finding, and this is why we're here right now, is to try to build those more collaborative relationships and help your clients, the clients we share, because we're a very different agency than we were 25 years ago. And so that's mostly what I'm going to focus on today. Our program mission, which we changed recently, is we listen to, respect, and support our customers so that children can receive the emotional and financial support they need to thrive. So you're probably looking at it going, what? Like that doesn't sound like that would come from Department of Child Support, because we are feared and we're trying to change that image. And again, I'm hoping that you all can help us do that. So I want to talk a little bit about how we've changed. And, we used to be under the district attorney's office. So that's really all I have to say is that, you're talking about a prosecutor mentality. You're talking about a thought process of we're suing you, you're a deadbeat dad, you're an absent parent. And, those words hurt and they don't go away easily. And now we're different. We're a customer service-based agency. We are about inviting people into the process versus us chasing you. You chase something and it runs. That's natural. And the effect that we have on people and on their lives can be really harsh. And honestly, when it was under the DA, and I probably shouldn't say this, but it wasn't always fair. And now the court is not necessarily saying that because you're a mother, because you have a uterus, you're the best parent to have those kids. We all know that's not true. And so the court is now even looking at things a little differently and how they work out custody and how they work out visitation. And we are in that same boat. We remain as neutral as possible. We do not, and this is a misrepresentation that people really believe that we represent the mom. And we don't. We are a neutral party. We represent what's in the best interest of the child and the law. Child support law, and making sure that that's fair and equitable for all. Our caseworkers have gone from we follow the rules A, B, and C to they have been empowered to really try to resolve things out of court. and try to get these two people that we're hoping will be great at co-parenting to also come to common agreements on what should happen. Because honestly, if you're involved in the process and you're involved in the end result, it's more likely you're going to be cooperative and be part of it and understand, really have educated background on how this all happened. And then again, the thing that is so incredibly important to me is the high focus on quality customer service. So this is just a brief. I'm not going to go, you're not going to walk out of here child support specialists. I don't think you need to, because you have a group of people here that want to be that support. But I just kind of want to talk about the process just a little bit and what those steps are. You know, case opening happens, and it comes because somebody's active to cash aid as a single parent. We're going to get a referral automatically. And then we have people in the world that want help, and they are not necessarily aided or part of the system, but they need some guidance and support through the child support process. We do a needs assessment, and this is brand new. It used to be we shot mail out, and then we started our legal action, and people resisted. And so now we went through a period where we were reaching out to just the person that had custody of the child. So what message does that send, right? It sends we're on their side, and that's where that came from. Now we're reaching out to both parties. We're talking to them about why the case is open. We're talking about what they might need. And one of the things we're doing right now, or I'm doing right now, is I'm building a resource center for our staff. So if you have somebody that says, I don't have a place to live, we're not saying, well, that's really rough, go find some. We're saying, call these people. Or we're reaching out and doing a warm transfer and saying, this person needs your guidance. And it's a whole shift in mentality, but it's something that we're really working on, and that's huge and important to us. So that needs assessment. We're also communicating about the process and what's going to happen. And we're talking about what we need from them and how they can be involved in the process and engaged so that they are able to make sure that what we're coming up with is accurate. We're not taking anybody else's word for how much you make or how much time you have with your child. Then we make a decision. If paternity hasn't been established yet through some means, free genetic testing if somebody's questioning, and we do encourage people to use it. If you have a doubt and you have an opportunity and you're still eligible for testing, do it. Because what happens is people use it as an excuse to not see the child, or they use it against one another when they're mad. New girlfriend comes in, new boyfriend comes in, and all of a sudden that's not your baby anyway. Well, you need to know what your rights are. And so we do encourage that to happen. Happens right here in our office, unless they live out of the area. And if they do, we set up testing elsewhere. Then we'll get a court order for support after working with them. And sometimes those are done by stipulation. If we have two people that want to work together, we can have you come in the office, we can serve you with a document, both parties can talk about it, and we sign paperwork, and nobody goes to court. We get everything filed. It's a strong legal document. We set up accounting if there's money to be involved, and we work with those people on getting payments in. We work with employers so that it's coming in on a regular basis. And we do our best to ensure that we're going to get regular, consistent payments. Also, people have changes. Look at what happened with COVID. People lost jobs, people lost living. Kids started being with one parent more than the other because that parent was home and the kids couldn't go to school. So that's what we consider a change in circumstance. And we work with people with those now, where it used to be go file a motion at the court. They don't have a legal background. Some of them have criminal backgrounds. They're not going to go visit the court. They get to contact us. We work them through it. And again, most of those, or a good percentage of those, are settled even out of court. And then again, throughout the life of the case, we're providing information, we're providing assistance, we're providing support, and we're answering those tough questions that people just don't know unless they reach out. There's two programs I want to talk about specifically with you guys, and then we're going to get into kind of what our relationship needs to be to have this really be successful for your clients. We have the debt reduction program, and this is a brand new program. And what this basically does is this allows people to work out a way to reduce the arrears that have accrued that are owed to the state. This program, for years we've had it, and it's been horrible. It used to be called COPE, which was a compromise of arrears program, but now they have simplified and more people are qualifying. And we are seeing people basically have like pennies on the dollar and paying off, and other arrears are being waived forever. Nobody's ever going to come back, whether they have a small lump sum to make an offer on, or whether we set up something for them to pay on a monthly basis. This makes a huge difference. And it really is based on their ability to pay, which is a great thing because some have the ability and some don't. And we're carrying these on forever and chasing them forever. And it's keeping them off the radar forever. And they can't have a bank account and they can't have a driver's license. I mean, it's silly, right? So this is a great program, and all they need to do is reach out to us, and we will set them up with a simplified way of figuring out whether this is plausible for them. The second is family reunification. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is this is a gigantic hole in our system. It is, and I will say this, against the law for us to be charging current child support if they are in active, successful, moving forward with active, and they are in full compliance with family reunification. People don't know that. And they are not communicating that they are in legal family reunification with their child. So these are foster care kids or people that were pulled by the system, and they are actively going through court. People think we're attached to the court. We're not. And so we don't know automatically. If you have a client who says, I am in family reunification, I mean, they are doing the steps, they're doing what they need to do, they're getting things done, they need to reach out, because if they are being charged current child support, we will immediately stop it. And any length of period of time that they've been in reunification, we will zero out the child support that was charged for those months. Also, the good part, we all hope, of course, that there is successful reunification and the child goes back to a safe and loving home. But if it fails, if when push comes to shove at the end, the decision is made, this person will no longer be in reunification and we're going to make whatever decision we're going to make, they cannot go back and be charged for those months that they were actively in successful reunification process. So this is huge. I mean, this you would not believe. I had a gentleman that I met at homeless court, and he walked up to me and said, I'm trying to get another house, another place to live, because they want me to have 2 bedrooms because I have 2 different sex children, 2 different genders. And I can't because you're taking all this money. And I'm like, wait, stop. He didn't even know the word family reunification. And so part of that was he had been in our office 10 times, probably didn't say the right word. That's it. He didn't say the right word. And we waived $12,000 off of what he owed. So this is some big money, and this is important. And that's why I wanted to make sure I had a slide on that. So let's talk about what's really important here, and that's how you can help your client. I think the most important piece of all of this is that you encourage them to contact us. And I understand, let me say, we all understand why people don't want to call us, because they're remembering what grandpa said and what their dad experienced and what what their big brother even experienced. And it is important that the relationship we build is that you trust me and you trust our organization, because you guys are doing amazing work. You are providing so many wonderful things and resources. You're like their angel, right? So this is where the halo effect works, is you are shining and you are offering all these things to these folks. And if you say to them, call them, this is what they're doing now. I had 3 clients that were helped by that agency. Call them. They are going to believe you a lot more than they're going to believe anything I can say or any ad that I can put out. We have common clients, I guarantee it. We have people who can't get a job because they don't have their driver's license, because we have a hold on it. Our system does it automatically. So we're a barrier, right? We have people who think we're going to take their entire check, so they're not going to go work. They need to understand that if they communicate with us and talk to us, we'll work it out. I have people that call me from workforce. Charles calls me all the time and says, Jamie, we got this person and they can start working Monday, but you have a hold on their license. Now, this is not 100%. I can't always make it happen quickly. Sometimes it takes up to 10 days, but I have had at least 10 clients with Charles that I've had it released in an hour. Like in 1 hour, I've been able to say, I'm calling the state of California DMV and saying, I need this cleared now. A job is hinging on it. Child support is hinging on it. This family getting money is hinging on it. And he could go down to DMV in an hour and have his license back and start working. So there are things that we definitely can do. Some of your clients are being asked to pay support that is totally inappropriate. It's off the charts. It's from 5 years ago or 10 years ago when he was working, making $80,000 a year, and now he's barely making minimum wage. Something needs to be done. Again, this is where the communication. So you understanding what we do, you understanding our ability allows you to emphasize that communication with us will be successful. And that really is the key. Reinforcing the importance of communicating when they get paperwork and they come to you and say, oh, I got this stuff from child support, to say, reach out to them. They need to get your side of the story. They want you involved in the process. Don't throw it into the circular file. That's what happens. They get the paperwork and they throw it away. And that is their opportunity to tell us what is really happening in their life right now, not us looking at old data or relying upon what the other parent is saying. And again, I think that the key here is how important as a parent they are in the life of their child, whether it's physically, emotionally, family support, medical knowledge, background. Are you sure you're dad? Do you need a test? What needs to happen? And emphasizing those things, I think, is extremely vital. And again, like what we've talked about here is that value of the community partnerships. And we did not used to attend these meetings. Department of Child Support, we were on a different plane altogether. You guys were providers, we were collection officers. That's what it was about. And we didn't work together. And I'll tell you, being able to say, I can reduce barriers for your folks so that they can get back on their feet and be the human that they want to be and have pride in who they are, that's what makes somebody a good parent. Some of these people are sad because they don't feel like they can be a positive influence in their child's life. That's why they're hiding from their child, from their responsibilities. And we can wrap this hopefully into one big package that helps rebuild a family, even if it's co-parenting, but can give those kids that positive, this is my mom, this is my dad. We say it all the time to people, a child can never have too many people love them. And they need this. And this also builds, even if dad's not in the picture, this brings grandma and grandpa into the picture. This brings families into a positive place. And kids are playing baseball and kids are having dance classes and they have the shoes they want to start school because of some of these extra support benefits that they're getting. So I think that here, it's gonna help us speed things up. For some agencies, I have already set up ways to kind of do warm transfers. And I've done a similar presentation, a little more detailed as to what we actually do. For many of the agencies that we've started building, I've only been in this position, I've been doing homeless court and different things for a decade, but I am now the outreach and marketing coordinator for our department because we need to let the world and the community and our partners know what we are about now and rebrand and change that process. That's really where we are. So we have some new things. I saw Jamie smile because she probably loves my little robot. I love him. This is Vic. He's our virtual information center and he's housed on our website. And we built this stuff, both of these kind of during COVID because our lobby was closed for a year. And we wanted people to have additional ways to reach out. So what Vic basically is he will tell you anything you want to know about the child support process in a very general way. So you go to the website, you click on Vic, and he will go through how we establish orders, what information is there, what court is like, how we collect support, what explains genetic testing. It gives people a really vague way of all the general information they want. He's 24/7, so if you're wondering something on a Saturday night, you can look it up. The second thing we have added is virtual chat. And this, again, started with COVID, but if you broaden it and you think about the people that are, unfortunately, our placement in this county, location-wise, is about as bad as it can be. We have no bus system that comes near us. We're centrally located in Martinez, but we're also in a building under probation. So people don't want to come here. Yeah, nobody really thought about that too well. But, we've been here for years and people don't want to come. We still have people that are undocumented that think ICE is waiting at the door. They don't want to physically come, just like they don't want to go to court. Well, with this, they go to the website, they click on a button, they go into a virtual chat room where it is our virtual lobby. And our virtual lobby gets their caseworker and they are having a face-to-face conversation. And it's all the hours were open, and it's a great way for people to get the service they want in a personal way without having to do the drive, without having to figure out transportation or be afraid. We have people that are victims of domestic violence that are afraid to come to our office for fear the other parent will be here also. So this is a great resource, and our staff is loving it because some of them are remote. They still get to see their customer because they're chatting from home. So basic ways to reach us, we're on Douglas Drive, and we have a call center that if your client calls the call center, they will get a call back from their caseworker within 2 days. We try to make it same day or the next day, but we have up to a 48-hour business period to get back. Again, we have the video chat. There's also a text number, and we do texting regularly with our customers, and a fax number. So that's really it. It is definitely a situation for us that we want to be that agency for you. We want you guys to see us as a resource. We want to help guide you through whatever you and your clients may need. And hopefully, working together, we can help resolve some of the branding issues and some of the things that we think make us an obstacle, because that's really not at all what we want to be. So I don't know where I am time-wise, but if we have time for questions, if anybody has one. If not, and here's all my info. I don't think I'm on the spread, so I need to get myself on there. But please feel free to reach out at any point in time.
Thank you. This is amazing. And we do have some time for questions.
Hit me with them. I'm ready.
I just have a really quick one. This is just like my nerdy county employee question. So like, what are you housed under? If you're not under the DA's office anymore, like where do you live in the structure?
We live in, so, in general kind of social service. So we're kind of in the same bracket as we are with, I'm trying to unshare and it's not letting me. We are in the same bracket as EHS. So, we fall under the social service umbrella.
So you're under EHSD umbrella?
We are. We have a completely separate, hang on, I'm trying to close everything out and see if I can it's not letting me get back to my screen. So bear with me, sorry. There's actually a state Department of Child Support Services. So we function kind of the same way as EHS, where each individual county has its own way of, functioning. We function as an individual, county office, but at the same time, we're housed, I think we go under like federally, like DFS. So it's like Department of Family Services, and we just fall in under there, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
I think I got it. There we go.
And then Catherine had her hand up, and then after that, Joe.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much, Jamie. This is excellent because like I say, I do families. So this is excellent. I'm actually thinking of one family that had come to me with a situation, and it was where the father is probably paying $400 or $500 plus in child support, and she doesn't receive it because she's getting cash aid.
Right.
How it's like I just have never been able to get past that. The parent gets $50 and then the county gets.
Well, what basically is happening is when the person signs up for aid, and this is kind of where we get into that, they go to CalWORKS and they are given all these forms. One of the things they are signing over their child support to the county for reimbursement. And they have changed some things. It used to be what was called a disregard, which is $50. They've upped it to $100. And so it is a little bit more money, but I mean, where this really comes from is, I think the history behind it is, we don't want people on aid forever. We want the other party, the other parent, to be helping to support this child so aid isn't needed. So the theory behind it, whether it works or not, is that you're getting cash aid because you're doing this on your own. Now you're getting child support. And if the child support exceeds the amount of aid being paid, theoretically, you should discontinue aid and get what you're needing. The problem is that we don't have sometimes that ability. In other words, the calculation is below what they're receiving in aid, or it is not consistent. And so they go off and then the money's not rolling in and they're right back where they started and they're in a panic mode. So they are afraid to go off of aid. So this is kind of what it's about. I agree. I think what the challenge is that it's the way the process has always been. And then you have the taxpayer on the other side saying, I'm supporting your child, where's the other parent? And you have, it's reimbursing the county so the county funds go further.
So with that, this scenario, because I've talked to mother and father, and it's like the father is paying, you know, probably $900 a month for a child that's not getting the money. And from my understanding, when I spoke to the mother, the reasoning was because the child has diabetes very bad with the insulin and all the products that come with it, which is very expensive.
Yes.
So that part is very important, that the child has medical. So it was kind of a difficult scenario, and I would actually love to be able to contact you about this one because, you know, they've both been back and forth. But I understood talking to the mother why she would stay on aid, because the father is actually paying into the medical part because it is so expensive. So, you know, something like that. And then the mother is constantly asking the dad, I need money for clothes. I need this and that. And dad is like, look, I'm paying $900. I can't even get my own apartment because I only make this and this is that.
Yeah,
So
I think that's kind of a unique situation if dad is being asked to pay into medical. Generally, people that are aided child's on Medi-Cal, they're getting what they need through there and the needs are being met there. So that might be something really unique. But yes, I totally agree with you. We do instruct the people that are paying support to not give money to the house, because you would be surprised how many times they're paying there, they're not getting credit. And then we have this buildup of arrearages that they owe. So we want, that's part of what we do, is we track the accounting and we keep the money flowing through us. But there are circumstances. And again, this is where, if let's say, for example, they were being asked to pay more for support than they should and can't fulfill this other requirement, that might be a situation for the judge. Like you go into the court and you say, here's the situation in this very unique medical needs for this child. How do we make this work? And we have many very creative orders where this amount goes to the home because of this situation. So I think we could talk about that one individually, or, you know, even encourage them to reach out to us and let's see if there's something we can do.
okay, and would it be okay for me to reach out and then connect you possibly with the family?
What I probably would want, honestly, is them connected with their caseworker, not me. And I only say that because everybody has an assigned caseworker, and that caseworker will not just help this situation, but they will monitor them onward. So developing a relationship there is important, but you and I could definitely talk about it, and I could maybe reach out to them and get the conversation started. But I definitely would want to hook them up with their caseworker so that they have that long-term relationship.
Yeah, because I don't think they have caseworkers. It's just like mail, do this, do that, do that. So they're not like, I don't think they know, honestly, to the extent that they should utilize that person.
We don't have regular relationship, most likely, with them. There's not an open communication, and that's what it's all about. There are people that can help them. There are people that can guide them. There are people that can lend support. But you know, our caseworkers, I shouldn't say this number, but they have 700 plus cases apiece. It's a lot of work. And so it is sometimes the squeaky wheel. It's the person that reaches out. And that's why we've developed all of these ways for them to get a hold of us, whether they come in, whether they call in, whether they send in a letter, an email, a text. You know, there's a variety of ways, but we want to hook them up. If someone has a need, we want them to reach out and talk, and we'll do what we can. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes the law or the system is trapping us.
It
But
is.
we're certainly going to at least explain and educate them on why we are in this position and what might happen if different things occur.
Right. I advise the father is the one paying at this thing. I advise the father to win that request for more money for clothes, to get a money order. Get a money order and give a money order and have a copy of that.
I still wouldn't do it. I
But it's-
mean, what I'm saying is that there is nothing by law unless she's in agreement. If a direct payment is given to her, the only way, there's only two ways that he would be given child support credit for that. And that would be if she says, yes, it was for child support. And that's my obligation to child support, or the court makes a determination.
Wow.
So it is not suggested. I mean, I have to say, from our
See?
standpoint, we want to make sure people are getting credit for what they're paying.
Yes.
And when the court says this is what you pay, it's on the basis of their ability to pay.
Okay, that's good to know, because I would have never known to say this to this family or to the father in this case who's doing the paying.
Yes.
Because I hear there's constant give me, and then they're bad mouth to the children as a deadbeat father when he's like, why am I deadbeat? I see them, I take them, I do these things, and I'm paying all this bulk of my check. You're not getting it, so you may not feel that I'm doing anything, but that's because you're getting aid what you need because of the medical.
Right.
So this one was like really different.
Well, I mean, there is an ability to get medical, they don't have to be on cash aid. They can have Medi-Cal and food stamps completely separately. So if he's paying 900 and she's only getting 300, if she discontinues cash aid, she would still get medical, food stamps, and then the entire 900 that he's paying. So again, this is the piece, is people think it's one basket. It's not. You can get just Medi-Cal and food stamps, and then you can get cash aid, and it can come as all three together. But there is a cash aid break where they can say more's coming in child support. Now the state doesn't keep more. We will not keep more than what has been paid out in aid. That money will go home. But if there's a history of months that they didn't pay, it's going to pay that back first. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
This is excellent, Jamie. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
everyone.
My pleasure. Joe, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was curious on the one parent that is seeking custody is living in Contra Costa County, but the other parent who has a child in an unsafe environment is in another state. So do you support the cross-state, cross-county, cross kind of support there?
There are means to. Now, I want to clarify one thing, because you said custody visitation is the issue. We don't work in helping to determine custody or visitation. That has to be done through the family law facilitator. But child support does cross not just state, but national territories. So there are other agencies that we work with around the world to collect support if we have reciprocity with that state. In terms of your custody visitation issue, my recommendation would be to contact the Contra Costa Family Law Facilitator, because they are amazing and they will give them what their boundaries are. Custody can be hard across state lines if there's not an existing order.
What was the title again?
It's the Contra Costa County Family Law Facilitator. And if you Google that, they have live chat, like typing, they have video chat. And then they're also at the family law courthouse. They have actual in-person hours. So if someone can get down there, it's great. You do it face-to-face. They'll give you paperwork in your hand on what needs to be completed and filled out.
Great.
Go over and you file it. Make sure if they go and if they are low income, that they request a waiver of fees for filing.
Wonderful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Miss Maureen, you have your hand up. You forgot.
Sorry. Okay. So just so it's not confusing for people, I did go to the county website, and Department of Child Support is a department parallel to EHSD, not under EHSD. I'm sure you have lots of connections, but if they went under EHSD, they wouldn't see it because it's a parallel department.
Right.
And I actually Googled to see how easy it is to find your website. And so when I just did DCSS, first the state department comes up, but right under that there's a little map, and then the county comes up. Or you could do DCSS COCO and it comes right up.
Or if you just Google Contra Costa Child Support Services, it'll kick in. You don't need the whole name. If you put Contra Costa Child Support, it'll pop up there as well.
Oh, that's longer than typing DCSS COCO.
It is. Sometimes people don't remember the DCSS part.
Oh,
if you go in and you put DCS, or you put, CSS, it gives you different things. So whatever works for you. It's pretty easy to find us. If you put Child Support Contra Costa, it's there.
Right. I guess normal people would think of that. I'm government, so I think in terms of DCSS.
Right, of acronyms. That's how we live our life, is acronyms.
Thank you.
But I will say, and I am seeing pop up in the chat, people saying, would you come talk to our agency? Would you get? Absolutely. I could do this all day long. It's my favorite part of my job. So I will gather some names, but again, the easiest, best way is, and I'll put my information in there. If you shoot me an email that just says, hey, call me, or let's talk about it, we will get something scheduled. Because again, I think we've done it with Centerforce. We do regular stuff with Rubicon every month. We've done it. I slid myself into the VA. I don't know how I did it, because again, those social workers, their main goal has been for decades to protect their vets from us. But they did, and I've given free presentations for the VA. So we're definitely breaking down some of those walls. We're trying to do it. We've done stuff at Centerforce. It is absolutely, this is my goal. This really is my goal. When I retire, whether it's 5 years or 15 or 50 years from now, my goal is to change who we are, how we're viewed. And because we have a great group of people here that want to help, we just got to get the fear to go away first. So thank you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for letting me do this, because I really think it, I hope it shed a little bit of light on some things. And again, any questions, please reach out, and we will do our best to take care of your clients.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
I was just telling the other Jamie that I'm listing a number of organizations, including my own district, of ones that need to do the work that you guys are doing in terms of rebranding and getting information out, and really kind of reflecting and looking at their mission and their purpose in terms of helping people. We had decided to let the conversation go and the questions go, even though we went into kind of our breakout groups, the time for our breakout groups, just because it was such good information. We have about, 5 minutes, which we could push to 10 probably, if we want to go into breakout groups. Maureen's
yeah, I'm kind of like, can we kind of take a temp check?
Yeah,
Because,
that's
like,
what I was
also
gonna
people
try
have
to do.
sharing, which feels maybe more important than the breakouts by
Agreed.
region. That's kind of my gut feeling.
Agreed. We're a small group to this. So let's do thumbs up if you want to do breakout groups. It's like your passion right now.
And for folks that are new, we break out basically by region of the county. So it'd be like East County, Central County, West County, for you to talk amongst your peers in that part of the county.
And just middle, if you don't really have an opinion. And this does not mean bad, just means a choice of staying here. Okay, yes. Got a good read on it already, Jamie. We didn't even need the thumbs. Okay, so yeah, did you want to share out more? Do we want to discuss this topic more? Are there other topics before we go into announcements or things people want to share? Morgan.
I'll actually ask Jamie Luna one more question, and it's kind of a basic question. You mentioned that there's the availability to do a video chat with a case manager. Does that have to be an appointment set, or so they could get on and?
Yes, if they go to the website, and they click on video chat, it'll take them to a little disclaimer just to protect us that we're discussing some things and they're going to have to verify who they are and all of those pieces. And then they are put into a chat room, or I'm sorry, into the virtual lobby. And I mean, of course, we try whenever we can to hook them up with their official assigned caseworker. But we have backup systems here so that if they're at lunch or they're on another call or they're on vacation or not here that day for whatever reason, they will speak to somebody that's in the same team as their actual case manager. So any of our hours of operation, that 8 to 4:30, we're open and available. And if they come in through video, the virtual reception area, they will talk to a caseworker.
And that's makes it so accessible. Would it, because I have a specific client that was asking us, our organization, for help with paying his child support. He's unemployed. So he's not the best at kind of organizing things and getting things done. Would it be acceptable for his case manager to sit down with him and initiate that video chat?
The only thing that we will ask, because again, we deal with very confidential things. The only thing that would be at issue is we would first verify that he was who he said he was by asking him verifying information. And then we would be asking him at that point, are you okay with this person sitting with you through the call? So absolutely, as long as they have the setup to be able to do that, to where they could get two people and, on a phone, it's hard, but if they're setting it up like a Zoom meeting, absolutely, without question, that would work. So it really just comes down to, what they want. But again, we always kind of put it back to them. And I think that, there are some caseworkers that sometimes feel uncomfortable with the group setting for whatever reason. I think that they just need to express to their case manager that this is my advocate. This is the person that's going to help me get done whatever you tell me I need to do from here. We know people have a hard time. We know it's overwhelming. We know they've been kind of bred to fear us and not cooperate. And we understand why. But I think that what we're trying to do with our caseworkers is have them understand the humanistic side, and that these people that are reaching out, it's not an easy phone call for them. It's not an easy visit, and they may need support. So I think if they just express that support is necessary for their success, I can't see a caseworker saying it's an issue. And if they say it's an issue, then I want to know about it.
Great. Thank you so much. That really, I know with some of my clients, that's going to be a huge help for them to have that support system, or even somebody just to get them to do it at first.
And also, if you guys have, I'm a regular at the Bay Area Rescue Mission in Richmond. I've set up a relationship with them through Homeless Court, through bumping into one of their program advocates. And now when he has 3-4 new guys that have come in, or gals that come in that have a child support issue, I go to the mission. So, and there's regular there because they're constantly changing who is in the program. So even if you had a situation where you wanted us to come and give a presentation, either via Zoom or physically to your clients, we can build it that way. To your staff, to educate them, we can build it that way. If we see it to an event, it's been crazy, all the events we've been going to this year since I started this. And it's great for us to be there. We come with our computers and we can provide them with case specific live information, face-to-face right there where they're comfortable. So, those are the things we're trying to do to become part of this community that you guys have all created, and these resources for people. But, again, if you had a place where, we start a new class every X amount, if you know that within the beginning, you can say to them, who here has child support issues, and you have a class of 30 and 10 of them do, then you call me and I'll come to your class and we'll do it there all in one lump sum if I know who I need to speak with. So there's a lot of things we can do and create, and we can be pretty creative if we want to make sure your needs are met.
Speaking of event, I just invited you to our event. We have a job fair, and I'd like to invite a lot of you. We have a job fair. Liberty Adult Education in Brentwood is having a job fair / resources October 27. I couldn't figure out how to save the date flyer through the chat, but I will be more than happy to do that via emails once I get all of that. but it is for October 27, and we would love to have you there. You would really be a great for our client and our students. And
We would love to be there. And, you know, again, job fairs, we're a barrier. You know, you're going out to get a job and we got your license. I mean, you know, that's not going to work if you're trying to drive for Amazon or whatever, right? So we would love to. We will definitely be there.
Okay, you got the invitation.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
For the virtual case manager, so this is not with a particular case manager that they're assigned to. It's just
Well,
like caseworker of the day, or how does that
No,
work?
if the caseworker's here and available, that's who they're going to get.
Okay,
The virtual receptionist is sending something. We have like what we call Lobby Central, and it goes out to everybody. It's something everybody can see that, oh, Jamie has somebody here to talk to them in the virtual.
okay,
And if I'm available, I grab it, but I don't want somebody sitting if I'm with somebody else for 30 minutes. Like it's, you know, it's just not good customer service. So they will find somebody on my team that will pick up the interview for me. And that way
okay,
that
got
person
it.
is seen. And our wait times, you know, when I think about back when I started, oh my gosh, 20 something years ago, our wait times, it was like DMV and people would get really frustrated. Our wait times now are usually 5 minutes or less.
Oh, wow, that's
So,
excellent.
Yeah. So
Now, what if they don't know, because they just don't know who their case worker is?
We know.
Because
We
now
know.
you may know, but what about the client that we're talking to?
Well, when they come in, when they contact our office, if they contact the call center, if they call the 866-901-3212 main number, then the call center answers it. They put their information in, they find their case, and they see who their assigned case manager is, and that's who gets the message to call them back. If they come in through virtual, the virtual receptionist does the same. So it's they may not know the person, but with their first contact with the office, they'll have a name,
They'll
who
know.
they're dealing with, and they'll be able to start building that relationship.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Sure.
Any other questions or invites? You're getting a full like dance card here, Jamie.
Love it. I love it. It's what I want.
Okay. Well, with that said, do we want to move into sharing any announcements or events? Anything you'd like to share with the rest of the group about your agency?
I'd like to share. I am currently in search of a workforce liaison for Rubicon programs. So this would be in business services. It would be covering East and part of Central Contra Costa County. So if you have anybody that is interested, please, please, please have them apply. I will place the link in the chat room or contact me directly, and I'm happy to provide all of the information, including job description. But yes, we are definitely looking for a new workforce liaison.
If you all have any families, guardians, parents of students in Mount Diablo Unified School District, this Saturday, I think it was on hiatus for a couple of years. There was some pandemic I heard about, but it is back. It is the annual parent conference. So it will involve, there's a free lunch, it's totally free. I'm not sure how many, it's like 200 backpacks that they're giving away to parents that are coming in for their kids, as well as different presentations on how to be engaged in school, how to work with your student at home on developing some skills for school, as well as what I'm most excited about, which is the Parent Resource Square, which coincides with kind of lunch, and people can walk around and get information on different community resources that they may need. So that's this Saturday, and it was put together pretty fast this year, but hopefully next year, I wanted to reach out to a lot more people to maybe take part in the Community Resource Square as well as present. So I'll put the flyers, both Spanish and English, in the chat. Oh, and then I think it was Jamie, I think it was you that sent this out. It was the lived experience.
Yes.
That's Saturday as well, and I'm very excited about that.
Correct. Yes. Can I keep the floor for a minute? Okay. So I have a couple things to update folks on. So first, what Monty was just saying is the homeless continuum of care is working to set our priorities around equity for the next year or so. Basically, what will our COC work on in terms of equity? And so we're doing an event tomorrow night and then also Saturday. Saturday afternoon is going to be at the Antioch Library. It's an in-person event specifically for people with a lived experience of homelessness. At this point, I think we're probably done recruiting, but the online one is available tomorrow night, and I'll put that information in here. So Joe is going to be a co-facilitator for both of those. Woo, woo, woo. The other two things I wanted to mention is we have rebranded. I'm all about the rebranding. Yay, Jamie. So we've rebranded our access flyers for how to access homeless services. So I'm going to drop that link in here. So if you have any of the old ones that have like photos on the front, that's the old one. The new one now actually talks about all 3 access points. Thank you, Maureen. So calling 211, care centers, and also core outreach. Our last flyers didn't really mention core. So print those out, share them. There's downloadable PDFs in English and Spanish on the website. The third thing I wanted to mention is we now have our 2021 annual report out. And what I wanted to highlight for all of you is on page 58, in case you're interested, there is information. Basically, one of the things we analyze is employment and income growth, right? So as people come into our system of care, one of the things HUD is looking at is like, are we increasing people's employment or income? And so you can see some data just for who's come through our system around that. And so you guys are all obviously key partners in helping do that. There's also like, I mean, it's like 80 pages, like you could seriously get your nerd on and look at everything. There is a 2-page, I'm actually gonna give you the link for that too. There's actually like a 2-page infographic too, in case you're just interested in sort of big picture demographic information, if you don't wanna have to look at the like entire ginormous thing. I'm just trying to think for a minute if there's any, I mean, there's a million things happening. We actually are gearing up for Homeless Awareness Month. And so if folks are interested in that, hopefully you have gotten messages about that. There will be another one coming out tomorrow. So that's November. And we do a bunch of things around like a video and a toolkit and all that stuff. So I will stop there. I'm happy to answer any questions around homeless services or our system of care if you have any. But that's my report out.
Well, I want to just give some happy shout out to myself. I'm getting a flurry of emails from my coworkers here at RCD. Today marks the 2nd year of me working with them. And I started during the pandemic. So I did everything started pandemic, just getting to sites, and they're just popping up, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. So for some happy stuff, you know, and I'm loving it. This is such a blessing to be able to be doing what I do, which Pastor asked one time, what is your purpose? And my purpose is to serve. And that's what we do. Thank you.
I'm very busy writing down a lot of the resources, so.
So
Yes, Maureen.
May I go next?
Yes, please.
And Bonnie, I'm saying I don't think you're dropping the docs into chat worked. If you want to email them to me, I seem to be able to drop docs into chat. It just
okay.
It's the path. And the thing that I dropped is a PDF of this postcard for our Learning Center. Like they do tutoring for kids, and they're just having a small fundraiser this coming Saturday, August 13th in Antioch. $25 for adults, and you can actually sponsor this event for $150. I've been to, you know, fundraisers where the ticket to get in is more than that. So, and the reason why I know about them is that last Saturday I worked the Antioch Community Day, which was a fabulous event, like pony rides for the kids and you know, all the usual suspects tabling there with social services. And they gave away 1,700 backpacks, and there was also toys and a lot of other places. So I just wanted to do like a minor report out on that. And then let's see, things that are coming up. So, you know, we had the America's Job Center of California, AJCC, had a job fair. I feel like it was in late June, and we expected 100 people and over 400 showed up. So we are planning another job fair September 28th. We have a date and we don't have a location yet, but it's definitely going to be off site from here because that was too many people for our little center. And I will keep you posted on that. So save the date. Oh, thank you, Jamie Jeanette, for directing me to page 58. I have that report and it's like, where do I start? So, and then Jamie Luna, so you're still sending your non-custodial parents who need to get a job to our career center, right?
We are. It's again, we never really got what we wanted, that real kind of thing. We were hoping to really develop kind of a cross-reference resource, and it never really panned out. We never got anywhere after you and I chatted about it. And I went to V, and then I went to Leroy, and we were trying to kind of get that going. But I do have Workforce as a resource. Like I said, I'm in the process of building a resource center for our staff, that when they have somebody on the phone and they do the needs assessment or they talk to a customer, they have a place to go. So like Shelter Inc.'s in there for housing. I mean, like I have different kind of flyers, mostly what I've been picking up like at different outreach events. I'm scanning those in and they're there so they can just shoot an email with the flyer off to their customer. But I mean, Workforce is there. And, you know, again, we wanted to kind of further that relationship and see if we were able to kind of create more of a, I don't know if a warm handoff is the right way, but.
Okay. How about you and I talk offline to further that relationship. Let's tighten it up and make it work for both of us.
I love it. Thank you.
Maureen or Jamie or Monty, will we be able to get all that's in the chat, all they put together? Because I honestly am not that savvy with doing the chat, getting stuff off of it. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like in the email with what we talked about and what we received today from all of us.
Yeah,
and
we
then
actually
emails.
Yep. So we do minutes that we're gonna send out, and then Maureen will post on their new hub, I think. And we pull from the chat any resources that were shared. So yes.
And then you email them to us that were on the email chain for this meeting.
And Jamie Luna, when you have email again sometime in your life, will you send me the slide deck? And I'll make sure it goes in the.
I absolutely will. In fact,
Maureen has it maybe.
Maureen has it. I sent it to Maureen yesterday. And if you don't have it, let me know, because within all the chaos, I sent it to my personal email. And so I could easily just, I have it. I could shoot it back to you.
We'll just make sure everybody gets those too.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I will send it.
Thanks, Maureen.
Again.
Okay.
This is for, I just need some clarification.
I'm sorry.
Can I, this is for Jamie, not Luna, Jamie.
Jeanette.
Yes. Now, I know I've been invited to the September 26th.
Yes.
That's
nothing we've talked about here.
Nothing like this. Okay. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay.
Yeah, no, good question. I'll just do a quick note. And I know Joe and Capri and Betty, I see your hands up. The Homeless Continuum of Care does trainings every month for all the homeless service providers. So we are doing one related to workforce services. So Nidal, that is the one that we've been emailing about on a separate thread.
Okay.
And so it's just for homeless service providers, but about workforce services.
Okay.
I understand the confusion.
Got you. Thank you. Thank you.
And then I think Joe, I don't know who was first, but I think it was Joe.
Oh, Betty had her hand up for a while there too. But we're just really quick. Lived experience perspective, that's all I'm like all about, is that how important it is to get the lived experience perspective. And so me being the founder of Delta Peers, I've developed this program. I know a couple of times I've mentioned the Spirit program. I just want to kind of plug them again through Contra Costa Community College and the Office of Consumer Empowerment. I want to plug them because I know that some jobs were mentioned, that there's a job available, and that would be a really good to touch base with April Loveland. I know that I've shared her contact with this network before. Unfortunately, I don't have it at the moment. But connecting with April Loveland through the Spirit program, there are people there with lived experience who are looking to work within our system of care. And so with that said, I'm going to go a little bit further. As the lived experience advisor for Delta Peers, I'm seeking somebody to collaborate with to do this new program around the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, which is all about peer support. Right now, peer support is really big in our state. We program specifically around lived experience perspective and homelessness. And I'm looking for somebody to partner with that is already in doing work within the homeless. Even more specifically, I can go into like domestic violence. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm looking to partner with somebody. If anybody might be interested to communicate, bounce ideas off of. There's a bunch of money there to be had. I just need kind of the support. And if anybody's looking to partnership, I am looking to have the discussion. So Joe Bruno, lived experience advisor with Delta Peers, Antioch, East County. You know what? I'm going to say this too right here in this moment. I'm not the lived experienced advisor. I'm currently homeless. So I feel like I need to start saying living experience. I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's strange how life happens. So anyhow, thanks. Appreciate the time.
Joe, I don't know if you're connected to them as far as your homelessness, but I have a listing of that I received from Alameda County, Shalom, Woods, etc. And it has different from Alameda County to Marin County, Antioch, Contra Costa, etc. It's a shot. I mean, but it's something to have before you to go and check into it, and just never know what may come out of it. So if you can write down, because like I said, I'm not good with the chat things, but my email is cjoiner, JOINER @rcdhousing.org. And then I can email you this listing. We get it monthly because it changes monthly. And I'll put you on my every month list, and prayerfully something can come out of that. There's no chance meeting, I believe that. So my prayers and blessings go out to you, and I could at least do that from our housing perspective. And if we have anything new coming up, I'll reach out to you also. Bless you.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, Joe. Betty, and then Capri.
I wanted to let you all know that we have an opening for a manager at our Spark Point Contra Costa Richmond office. So if you know of anyone who might be interested, I know I've spoken here about Spark Point in the past and the services we provide. So this would be the person in charge of our services at our Richmond office. So I will, I have the job posting. I'll put that link in the chat. And if you know anybody, send them our way. Thank you.
And last comment, I think Capri.
I had to figure out. Here I go. I apologize. I had to figure out how to take my hand down first. But I just wanted to just share some information. I heard everyone and what they shared. And this is a great opportunity for us to make those connections. I do work again with Shelter Inc., providing homeless services in housing and employment working with veterans and the dislocated or disadvantaged workers. So I did put my information in the chat. If there is any additional questions in regards to the agency or the services that could be provided or that may assist anyone here at this time, feel free to contact me. I did also want to share that as of July 1st, Shelter Inc. has obtained the HVRP program, which is the Homeless Veteran Integration Employment Program, which is specifically for veterans. In this case, veterans can be specifically helped with their homeless and employment. There is requirements to that, in which I am willing to share that detail. I'm in a process of putting together the updated flyer for it. We had the program once before, was not as successful. So we're taking a shot at it again. So anyone who knows homeless veterans or any veterans in need of employment and housing, feel free to refer them over to me. My information is in there. And again, for any additional questions in regards to employment with Shelter Inc., housing with Shelter Inc., we do have some programs and funds available for housing with particular requirements or eligibilities, but most definitely reach out and find out what those details are and see how it can be of assistance.
Thank you.
Capri, I heard that you guys were not doing Shelter Inc. for the like eviction prevention rental. Is this the case or?
Sorry, say that one more time.
I heard that you guys were not like going to be doing the rental eviction prevention help, like with funds for that?
That
this
is not
so?
That is not so.
Okay.
That is not so. One of our main purposes is homeless prevention. And there is particular, of course, there is eligibility for those programs or for
Yes.
we have a prevention program, and then we still are working with those that were affected, during the pandemic. It
Okay.
is limited on what is being distributed in the COVID area, but
Mhm.
for prevention is one of, again, homeless prevention is the point. So to assist with those that are currently working, but at risk of losing their place, or for someone who has already found a place that is willing to rent to them and they are employed, they can receive deposit assistance and or to avoid the eviction, as long as they can determine that it can be maintained after assistance is provided.
Great. I'm not looking in the chat. Can you just say real quick your phone number? I told you I'm just not savvy with that real quick, if you
No
don't
problem. I
mind.
think I have your, let me see. My phone number is 925
Yes, ma'am.
968
Yes.
6469.
Yes.
And yeah, so, and the email, I believe I did put it in the chat, but for the most part, it is Capri, my first name, .Nesbitt, my last name, at shelterinc.org.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry, you guys, for pointing in, but I mean, I have someone right now who just got a job with Tesla and needed help with her rent. And I know one of the things I told her she couldn't reach out was because she had to prove or show that she had a way to continue paying.
That is
Seasonal
correct.
sharings is the same way also. If you
That,
can't.
and
do
it is, and again, it's because, and not to go into the depths of it, because I know we're wrapping it up, but for the most part, it is to assist the participant and pretty much meet them where they are and ensure that they are aware and knowledge that it is programming to assist with these things. So it's not a forever thing unless they, receive the additional benefits that would come to any other health or situations, barriers that they may have, such as HUD and things like that. But for the most part, the programs are from 6 to 8 months, could be extended depending on the participants' effort towards their housing and employment goals.
Got it. Thank you, Capri.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you, Catherine. You got some good questions, let me tell you. I kind of like that it was a small group today. because we got to just talk and share a lot of information. So thank you everyone for participating.
Money, there's one
Michael-
hand up. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. sorry,
Michael
Commissioner.
Callanan.
Hello, I'm Michael Callanan. Sorry, I came in late from a different meeting. I'm with the program manager over Core Homeless Outreach, and I just noticed a bit of giving jobs up, or speaking of jobs and things. I have two master level social workers, one for our Concord team that is open, and one for our Richmond Castro team that's a little higher pay, but it's a temporary 2-year position for a master's level social worker. And then I have another one, I believe, coming on in the next month. So, and then if you have people that have lived experience, or, working with homeless and volunteers at church, whichever, we always need relief staff that they can start and be relief and just kind of have open hours and fill in for when we have people sick and that type of thing.
Excellent, thank you.
So Michael, did you say you had job openings?
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
about
okay,
to post them in the link in the chat.
okay, great.
And it's if you go to Heluna Health, HELUNA health.org, and then they have a lot of different, they're from all over, but if you could just search CORE, it'll pull up.
Could you clarify, I'm sorry, the lived experience part separate from the job?
So we require 2 years of working with vulnerable people. So you could be a caretaker, caregiver that has been working with people. You could have been volunteering at a church, serving homeless meals, going out and doing outreach with a church. You could be in recovery and have lived experience through that, serving people by like sponsoring people, that type of thing. We're basically, sponsoring. You could have been a DVR and been a house manager, or if you're at an SLE and you're a house manager, so you're working around vulnerable people. Goodwill Industries has a program that they they work with the reentry people. So things like that. Just that comes up to 2 years, that you have 2 years of experience working with the vulnerable people.
Perfect, thank you. There it is. Okay, thank you for jumping in and coming on. And I think our next meeting is possibly October 13th, but we'll keep you all posted. And thank you for everybody's participation. I really enjoyed today, just because we got to really, interact more than I think in other meetings. So thank you so much, and lots of resources. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.